So good morning everyone. I have all of the autumn blossoms falling all over me this morning. It's very pretty. Today we're going to work a little bit into the upper back and the shoulders. And if you've got a strap or a belt nearby, that will be very, very helpful. If you don't have a belt or a strap, you can also use a long towel. Use something that you can try and get your arms quite wide when you hold. So we'll come to this in a minute. So just leave it lying in front of you for now. And then finding your comfortable seat to focus the body and focus the breath. Take some long, slow breaths here. And noticing where your mind goes today. Are you able to focus on your body and on your breath? Or are you feeling a bit distracted? Is the mind moving around? In either experience, you have the opportunity to deepen your concentration. By just drawing the focus inwardly. And actually visualizing that you're standing in the middle of your mind. And some days, this is a very colorful, very cluttered space. And other days it's a little bit more hazy. Some days it's very organized and minimalist. And just noticing where your mind is today. Starting to incorporate your Ujjayi breath, breathing in and out through the nose, creating a soft sigh on both the inhale and the exhale. Matching your inhale and exhale breath, not only in terms of length, but also in terms of energy, so that you start and end with the same amount of energy. Often we start strong and then end up tapering off. Try to avoid that, keeping the smooth, continuous flow of breath. On your inhale breath, you're going to bring your hands together at your heart and then start to vigorously rub your hands together. Rubbing until you create some nice fire and heat in those hands. And then just a little bit more, placing the hands onto your eyes, cupping the hands and letting that warmth seep into your skin. Slowly bring the fingers down the face, joining hands together at the heart. And slowly opening the eyes. We're going to take hold of whatever prop you've got available, your belt, your strap, or towel. Keeping the hands out quite wide, so wider than the knees. Lift up tall and soften the shoulders down away from the ears. On the inhale breath, float the arms up overhead And then as you exhale, bring your hands behind your back without bending your elbows. On the inhale, lifting back up. And exhale, bringing the hands down in front of you again. So just flow with your breath here, inhaling to lift, exhaling to lower. And you want to keep your elbows straight. So make the strap longer in order to accommodate the straight elbows. You'll feel then how you're working into the rotator cuff, along the front of the chest, into the back of the shoulder blades. Be mindful of what you're doing with your neck, so try not to push the neck forward and back. If you find that you've got quite a lot of space, you can always bring the hands a little bit closer together. So as the muscles soften and the joint opens, you can increase the intensity slightly. Let's do one more round. And then coming to the front of the mat. Let's bring the hands now so they're about shoulder distance wide. Take the arms overhead, and you're going to pull one arm back behind you as you bend the top elbow. So now the straight arm is reaching backwards and down, and you're going to start to pull your bent elbow behind your head. So your head is totally free of the arm. Your elbow is not pressing against the neck. Your neck is in a neutral space. And let's inhale to the other side. So taking the other arm up and over. And again, make sure your head is free of your arm. You're reaching that straight arm back and down to help pull the top elbow behind the head. And then inhaling, lift up to the sky. You can lengthen the arms a bit more, widen the arms a little bit more. And then working one hand down towards the mat, stretching into the side torso. So you want to feel a bit of resistance here. You need to anchor down through the opposite hip, and then reach those arms over to feel the extension in the side body. On your inhale, lifting back up to center, coming over to the other side. Breathing deeply into the space. And then coming back up to center. Let's leave the belt now, placing it down next to the mat. And working into some seated cat-cow pose. Inhale to lean the body forward, opening the chest, lifting the chin. And then as you exhale, you're going to round into your back, tucking the chin to the chest. Inhale, opening the body forward, squeezing those back muscles. Lightly grip the hands into the knees, and then exhale to round back. Feel as though you would fall backwards if you weren't holding onto your knees, flowing with your breath. And then coming back to center, let's add in some side movements now. So you're coming into a full torso barrel roll. Lightly holding onto those knees so that you don't fall backwards. Open this body to the side, heart forward, opening to the other side. And you can make this movement as big or as small as works for you. And then when you're ready, change the direction of the roll, going opposite way. And then coming back to center. Let's come over onto hands and knees into tabletop. Take a few rounds of cat-cow pose just to deepen the activation of the spinal muscles. And then coming into a static hold, so lift into either cat or cow, whichever one is next, and you're going to hold here. Deepening the stretch by using your breath. And then you're going to switch to your opposite movement, coming into your other cat or cow, and again holding here. Breathing into the space. Inhale back into your neutral spine. Let's float up right arm and left leg. Engage into the quad by flexing your foot. Reach the fingertips forward, the palm faces in. On your inhale breath, take the hand behind, holding onto the foot as you lift open through the chest and the leg in your tiger curl. Inhale to extend forward. And then exhale, bring the hands down to the mat. You're going to inhale the leg out to the side, floating the foot, and then placing your foot down so that your knee lines up with your heel. So the extended heel lines up with the bent knee. Walking down into puppy pose or melting heart. And breathing deeply into the space. You can slide your right arm underneath the chest, threading the needle. And if you can lightly hold onto your calf, your ankle, your toe, wherever, you can go ahead and do that. Otherwise, just have the palm facing up. That's fine as well. Let's inhale to come back up. Walk the hands forward, bringing your hands back into tabletop, and then lifting the leg up and back before lowering down to the mat. On the inhale, taking up left arm, right leg. Engage into core muscles. Engage into glute and quad. And then on the inhale, coming back into tiger curl, holding onto the foot as you lightly lift your leg to the sky. Let's inhale to extend. Exhale, just the hand to the mat. Inhale, your leg out to the side, floating it for a moment before placing your foot down, lining the heel up with your bent knee. Walking arms forward for melting heart. And then sliding the left arm under the chest, threading the needle. Let's inhale, releasing to center, and then walking the hands back in, floating your back leg up and releasing down into tabletop. Making your way now into downward facing dog. Heel toe the legs. Lifting your hips up and back. Working into the shoulders by broadening the chest. You can shake your head yes and no. And then sinking both heels down to the floor. Let's walk forward into a flat back. Coming to the front of your mat, lifting open through the heart center. And exhale to fold. Lifting up one more time, flat back. And exhale into full extension. Inhale, sweeping arms all the way up to the sky. And exhaling, hands to heart. Standing in your Tadasana. And let's inhale, floating arms overhead. Interlocking the fingers above you, turning the palms to face up. Roll the armpits a little bit wider as you lift through the heart. On the inhale, breath leaning over to the right, gazing underneath your left arm. Inhale to the center, and then over to the left, gazing under your top arm. Inhale to the center, bringing the elbows into cactus. Lifting the elbows forward slightly to draw your hands back slightly. Draw the shoulder blades deeply into the midline. Let's inhale the hands behind the back, interlocking fingers, and roll the shoulder blades tightly together as you lift open through the heart. On your exhale, start to forward fold, keeping the knees soft and allowing your body to melt over your front thighs. Make sure chin is slightly tucked into chest, lifting the clasped hands up and over the back body. Dropping hands to the mat and stepping your right leg back into lunge. Sink your hips low as you lift up through the heart center. Squeeze that back thigh and push the back foot back as you reach the front foot forward. On your exhale, drop the back knee down and inhale, lifting up onto the front knee. Start to push your hands into your leg to open up the chest. Slide the hips down a little bit deeper. And then inhale, taking your hands overhead, interlock your fingers, pointing forefinger and thumb. Use that space to now grow the arms up while opening the front body. Start to bend into your elbows and place your head against your forearms, pressing back a little bit deeper. It's inhale, lifting the arms up to center, and then leaning forward so that you're engaging into core muscles. You're not resting on the front thigh, the ribs are inside of the thigh. Release the hands down to the mat, lifting your back knee and stepping into plank. Holding into your plank for a moment. Lowering knees, chest and chin. Squeezing into the lower belly, come back into plank. Straighten arms, straighten legs. Let's lower down for a second round. Knees, chest and chin. And then releasing all the way down to the tummy. Opening the fingers out to the side. Open the feet hip distance wide and float your chest off the mat into our wide cobra. Exhale to release down, hands under shoulders. Tuck the toes, squeeze the thighs. We're going to come back into plank and then into downward facing dog. Breathing deeply here. On your inhale breath, taking the right leg to the sky. Roll your ankle a few times. Change the direction of the ankle roll. And then hug your knee to your face to your knee, rounding your back. Look between the hands and lightly step the foot into lunge, floating onto your fingertips. Let's inhale together, flat back at the front of the mat. Exhale to forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale to fold. Inhale, sweeping the arms up to the sky. Interlocking fingers, turning the palms to face up, leaning over to your left. Inhale to center and over to the right. Inhale to center. Bring the elbows out into cactus. Turn the palms to face up. Really draw the shoulder blades tightly into the back body. Let's bring the hands behind you, interlocking fingers, and rolling the shoulder blades tightly together. Soften the knees as you forward fold. And then drop the hands down as you step your left leg back into low lunge. Sink the hips, lift the heart. Squeeze into those legs, reach the front foot forward, the back foot back. And then dropping your back knee down, inhale to lift the arms onto the front knee. Start to push your knee away as you open up through the chest. Let's inhale, float the hands up, interlocking fingers, pointing forefinger and thumb. And then bending into the elbows, pressing your head against your forearms. On the inhale, straightening out, leaning, so you're coming halfway down. Trying to make a straight-ish line from knee to fingertips. Engage into core, and then releasing hands down to the mat. Let's step back into plank. Really engaging into those core muscles, floating on the hands, and lowering knees, chest and chin. Coming back into plank, straighten arms, straighten legs. Lowering for a second round, knees, chest and chin. And then lowering to the tummy, staying into your regular cobra pose, floating the arms, the chest up as you press lightly into the hands. Work the elbows towards the midline. Gently releasing from here, tuck the toes, squeeze the thighs, inhale, plank, and exhale, downward facing dog. Taking a few deep breaths in your down dog. Let's inhale the left leg to the sky, rolling the ankle clockwise, and rolling anti-clockwise. Exhale, knee to face, face to knee. Look between the hands and lightly step the foot into your lunge. Inhale together, flat back. And exhale to forward fold. Inhale, bending knees, reaching arms into chair pose. Interlocking fingers behind the back and rolling the shoulder blades together. Sink your hips just a little bit lower, finding neutral spine with the lower back. And then lift your hips as you sink your head down, keeping the hands interlocked. Drop the hands to the mat as you step your right leg back into lunge, sinking the hips as you lift open through the heart, and are strong into the balls of the feet as you float your hands up into high lunge. Let's take us into eagle arms, bringing the right elbow underneath the left. Draw the shoulder blades together as you lift open through the heart. Inhale to neutral spine. Step your back foot in just a little bit to bring your heel down, and then coming into humble warrior, folding to the inside of the thigh. square the hips and let your arms drop down, melting to the floor. It's inhale, coming back up. Unwrap the arms, taking the hands overhead, interlocking the fingers, pointing forefinger and thumb. Rotate onto the toe again, so you back into your high lunge. And now engage into the core as you lean forward into Superman pose. Making one straight line from heel to fingertips. Make sure your back leg is still working strong. And then you've got to reach those hands so far forward that the back foot floats off the mat. Breathing deeply here. Let's release the hands down and lift the leg up to the sky. Letting your head sink down slowly to the earth. Breathing into this space, lifting the toes, reaching the head down. You're going to land in a warrior two pose. So taking the top leg back and then cartwheeling the hands up, warrior two. Check your alignment, front heel lines up with the arch of the back foot. Breathing deeply here. Let's inhale, reclining warrior. And then coming forward again, bringing the elbow to the thigh, sweep the backhand over the ear, Parsva. You might need your belt here. You're going to take your top arm up and then back, either into the lower back, into the waist, or into the front thigh. Opening up the chest. Taking the full bind, you might want to hold the belt in your top hand and then bring your bottom arm around the front of your thigh to interlock fingers or hold onto your belt. Slowly start to straighten your front leg. And then re-bend into that front knee. Release your left hand to the floor, to the inside of the foot, right arm up, and then bringing both hands down to the mat into your plank position, stepping back. Engaging into lower belly. And this time you can choose knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga. Either way, you're going to hold. And then come back up into plank. Second round, knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga. And then sliding over the toes into cobra or upward dog. And making your way back, downward facing dog. Let's take 5 breaths in your down dog. If you'd like to rest into child's pose, this is a good opportunity. On your inhale, walk, step or hop flat back. And exhale to forward fold. Let's bend knees, reaching hands up into Utkatasana. And then bringing your hands behind your back, interlocking fingers as you roll the shoulder blades together. You can choose to keep the heels down, or maybe you'd like to play and take the heels up. And then sink your heels and your head to the floor in your interlocked forward fold. Dropping hands down, step your left leg back into lunge. And work those feet in opposite directions. Engage into core, and we're going to float up into high lunge. So when you're in your high lunge position, lift your back heel up. Square your hips to the front of the mat. We're going to come into the eagle arms, so bringing left elbow under right. And then lift open through the heart, very gentle and minor back bend. Come back to neutral, step your back heel down, and then forward folding to the inside of the thigh in humble warrior. Square your hips and release your upper body. Let's inhale, back up, opening the arms overhead, rotate onto the toe of the back foot again, interlocking fingers, pointing forefinger and thumb. And now lowering yourself into your Superman lunge. Anchor through the back leg, reach through the front fingers, and then reach so far forward that the back leg just floats off the mat. Releasing hands to the floor, lengthen into the spine on an inhale, and then folding deeply on your exhale. So the left leg is lifting all the way to the sky as you work your chest down to your shin. You're going to land in our warrior two pose. So lightly with control, float the back foot down and cartwheel the hands up. Warrior two. Opening between the inner thighs evenly. Let's take it into reclining warrior. And then cartwheel the hands forward, coming into Parsvakonasana. Sink the hips just a little bit lower, so you're making a straight line from heel to finger. Using your belt or your strap if you need it, take the top arm up and then wrap the hand behind you, coming into the lower back, the waist, or the inner thigh. Shifting now into the full bind by bringing the bottom hand around the front of the thigh and then meeting your fingers behind your back or holding onto the strap. Hold the strap with the top hand and drop it down, that's the easiest. From here, let's start to straighten that front leg. Re-bend into that front leg. Let's bring the right hand to the floor, the left arm straight up to the sky. Reach your arm over the front of your body, stacking the hands under the shoulders as you step back into plank. Holding your plank for a moment, find your core. Let's lower either knees, chest, or chaturanga. Hold. Come back into plank, and then moving through your vinyasa. And everyone meeting in downward facing dog. On your inhale breath, you're going to walk, step or hop to sit yourself on your mat and slide your legs out in front of you. Open up the hips, match your toes to your hip bones, engage into this feet against your imaginary wall. You can use your straps here again, inhale and exhale to forward fold. You can place the strap around the feet or lightly holding feet, ankles, shins, wherever. Start to work your body a little bit longer using the inhale breath. And then inhale to lift yourself back up to center. You're going to come down to lie on the back. And hug your knees into your chest. Let's cross the right thigh over the left thigh. Now you might need your straps here again. We're coming into cat pulling its tail. You're going to keep the legs crossed and you're going to hold onto your feet. So you don't cross the arms, you just hold onto those feet. You're now going to twist yourself to your left side. Your bottom knee drops down and your top foot comes to the left side. If you have a strap or if your hamstrings are long enough, you can start to straighten that bottom leg out. Sorry, the top leg. My mistake, the top leg out to the left side. If your bottom quad is very tight, you can place a strap around the toes so that you can still keep the knee bent without as much intensity into that quad. And then returning to the center. And we're going to switch that around. So bringing left thigh over right, holding onto the toes, adjust your strap should you need to, so either for the bottom or the top leg, and then you drop the bottom knee down, the top foot to the right. And if you have the space, you can then start to straighten that top leg. Inhaling to the center, take both knees into the chest. And you're now going to gently rock yourself. So hold the back of the thighs, little rocks, slow and controlled. We're going to inhale down and then exhale up to balance. Inhale down. Exhale up to balance. Straighten the spine at the top. One more time. Inhale up to balance and now hold. You can choose to keep holding onto the thighs or you can straighten the arms next to the legs. And now hug the knees in, round into the back. Let's roll down. Rolling up, come into your balance, and let's straighten the legs. And again, you can hold lightly to the thighs if that's more appropriate. You can also use your strap around your feet. And now you're going to flex your feet, make your legs heavy, lower the legs as you lift open through the arms and the chest, and then fold. Inhale, coming back up to sit. Let's cross the ankles and you're going to walk, step or hop yourself back into a downward facing dog. Breathing into the space. On your inhale breath, taking the right leg to the sky. And then exhale to step the foot forward into a lunge. On your inhale, take your left knee to your chest, standing all the way up. And breathing here for a moment. We're going to cross this foot now into a half lotus. So lightly hold under the front of the toes and bring your foot into the corner of your groin with the knee pointing down. Find your balance here. And then when you're ready, you're going to take your left hand behind your back and hook your fingers into your right elbow. Depending how open that shoulder feels, you might be able to creepy crawly your fingers down towards your right wrist, or maybe even holding onto your right big toe. Breathe into the space. From here, let's release the hands. You're now going to bring your knee back into your chest, flexing that foot intensely. And now we're going to kick your leg up to the sky as you bring your hands down. So we're working towards standing splits, pivoting the leg up to bring the hands down. Lengthen the spine as you gently fold. And now you can choose to stay in your regular standing splits, or you can take your right hand up, bend into your top leg, and see if you can grab hold of the toes behind you. Start to resist by pushing the foot away and feel how that's going to activate into the quads, the shoulder. From here, release the hand down, lift the leg back up. And we're going to hop into a three-legged dog. So this raised leg stays up into your three-legged dog. So you flick the foot up and hop back. So the left leg is still up, three-legged dog. So release the foot back down to the floor in your regular downward facing dog. And take a moment to breathe. On your inhale breath, taking the left leg to the sky. And then stepping the foot forward into lunge. Opening up through the heart. And now float your back knee to your chest, standing up tall. Just find your balance for a moment. And then you're going to bring the foot into the groin. You just cup your left fingers underneath the toes. Finding your Tadasana balance. Opening hip, opening knee and ankle. And then taking the right arm behind and hooking your fingers into your left elbow. Start to walk those fingers down towards the left wrist. Gently releasing from here, take your knee back up to your chest. And now we're going to pivot into standing splits. So kick the leg up as you lower the hands down to the mat. Lengthen into the spine and then gently folding a little bit deeper. And again, you can stay in your regular standing splits, or you can take the left hand up to lightly hold the foot behind you. kicking that leg open. Feel how the chest is going to open, the quad is going to engage. And then let's release that leg, bringing the hands to the floor. Keep your right leg lifting up to the sky and lightly hop back, three-legged dog. So you can pendulum the top leg and float the bottom leg back, three-legged dog. Release both feet to the floor and just hold into your Baddha Parsvakonasana for a moment. On your inhale breath, it's walk, step or hop into seated, bringing the legs out in front. Okay, we're going to come into our Krounchasana now. Let's take the right leg under, the left leg over. Move the heels out of the way so you can sit onto the sitting bones without having a leg underneath you. And then depending on how your shoulders are feeling, if you want to give them a break, you can just simply forward fold. If you feel like you've got a bit more space, we're going to take right arm over, and then you sort of help manipulate that elbow behind the head. Left arm comes behind, interlocking fingers. You have your strap available should you need it. Use the top hand, so drop it down from the top hand and then hooking with the bottom fingers. Let's open up through the heart, inhale, and then gently forward folding, exhale. Close your eyes and come into a yin space, working into release and surrender. On your inhale, come back up to center. Let's release those arms. You're going to take your top knee and hug it into your chest, bringing your fingers around the ball of the foot or using the strap around the ball of the foot. Let's kick that leg up so your heel is in line with the knee. Lift your spine up, and then once your spine is upright, you can start to straighten that leg even more. Really open up through the front body here. Feel as though the ribs and the thighs are extending and laying flat against one another. Push the heel away and sit up a bit taller. You're now going to hold onto your strap with your right hand, or bring your right hand to the outer edge of your foot, to the pinky toe side of the foot. Taking left arm behind you. And now kick your heel and your fingers away from one another. At the same time, pull into that front hand to help twist the chest. Let's inhale, come back to the center. You can cross the wrists here and then start to forward fold over your front leg. Bringing your chin and your shin to meet one another. Let's inhale to lift. Interlock your two middle fingers and thumb of your left hand around your big toe. And then bring your right arm to the side. Open your leg out to the side. And now we're going to use the weight of the leg to gently pendulum the leg down and the arm over. Roll the chest open. Sink your hip down and reach the fingertips. Let's inhale, coming back up to center. We're now going to come into Krounchasana on the other side. So left leg under, right leg over. Adjust your hips accordingly. Make sure the feet are next to the body, not under. This time we'll take the left arm over. So bend into that elbow, help manipulate the elbow a bit further behind the head, reaching the fingers down. Hold the strap with the top hand if that is going to be better for you. And then interlock your fingers or hold your strap behind the back. Let's inhale and forward fold. Inhale to slowly lift up, release the arms. Take your front foot, holding around the ball of the foot, lift up tall, float your heel in line with your knee. So use this space to create active resistance, lifting the spine taller. And then once the spine is tall, you can straighten that leg up and feel as though you're growing evenly up towards the sky. Bringing your left hand to the outer edge of the foot or holding onto your strap and taking the right arm back. And now twist the chest here. Keep kicking your foot forward. Reach your fingers in the opposite direction and open up the body to the side. Let's cross the back hand over to the inside of the foot and now forward fold. Inhale back to center, hooking your big toe with your right fingers, bringing the left arm out to the side, and then kick your foot open to the side, sitting into your sitting bones evenly. Let's use the weight of that leg to gently oscillate and pendulum the top arm overhead. Find a comfortable space for your neck. You can look to the sky or you can look down to your knee. Let's inhale, coming back up to center. Turning to the front of your mat. Kick your heels away, rounding into the back as you slowly lower down to the floor. And taking both knees into your chest. Little gentle roll from side to side. Come to the center. Pull your hands a little bit further down the shins and lift your forehead to your knees. Round into the lower back. And then slowly releasing down, bringing the head down, the lower back down. Let's take the feet into happy baby. And then sinking the knees down towards the armpits. Bringing one heel into the midline as you extend the other leg away. And then switching to the other side. And then inhale back to center, take both knees into the chest and releasing the feet into Shavasana. Drawing the shoulder blades slightly together, bringing the chin slightly to chest. Softening your jaw, softening your tongue. And allowing your whole body to release into the floor. Slowly starts to deepen and lengthen your breath. Gently running your thumb over the tips of your fingers, moving your toes, ankles and wrists, drawing legs together and extending arms overhead as you yawn or sigh, bending your knees and rolling onto your side. Holding in your fetal position for a moment. You're going to come up into a seated position and finding a space that you can hold for a little while. Resting hands to the knees as you sit upright. And you're going to just simply sit with breath awareness. together at your heart center. We'll close the class by chanting Om once and Shanti 3 times. Taking a deep breath in. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Raising your hands to your third eye. The light in me sees and honors the light in you. Lowering your hands to your lips, to your heart, to your mat. Bowing forward in recognition of your practice. Blinking eyes open, inhaling to sit.